We're back. Hey, thanks for joining the show. As you can see, we got a special guest. So not only do you have Kane and Ice, but you also have my man Ray Jarvis of the Gray Area. I want everybody to listen to his podcast. You will be smarter when you listen to it, okay? So, Ray, tell us a little bit about the Gray Area and where everybody can find it.
The Gray Area, more or less, is a sports show, whereas, we have the national media that gives us the takes on a day-to-day basis. The whole idea of the Gray Area is to use sports as a hub for everything that we do within the sports world, whether it's debating, whether it's race issues, whether it's feminine issues. If you go to like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, there's always a sports debate. So I use those little things that happen within sports as the content for the show. Every now and again, I'll still do my takes. I'll throw the hot take, direct speculations out there. But it's all things inclusive in sports as opposed to giving you the same thing everybody else is giving you.
Yeah, I will say it is. Your show is definitely different. You definitely have a very intelligent cast of characters, but entertaining too, that you bring on.
So as long as you keep Ice out there, it'll be really entertaining. He's got a pretty dry sense of humor.
I was fired.
Last week he had on, well, I guess 2 weeks ago when you did your Super Bowl preview, you had an Eagles fan on. So I think he's already hit his quota for Eagle fans. He's a Giant,
yeah.
So he ain't gonna bring the champs on.
Listen, man, I felt as though being the Giants fan, it was only right for that episode to have an Eagles fan on the show to combat with, because I hate the Eagles. I'm upfront. I hate them. I see him collar over there. Fly Eagles, fly. That's nice. I hate the Eagles.
I'm glad that somebody said that, because I got so tired of like fans of other teams telling me, "Hey man, I'm rooting for y'all." I'm like, no, like don't do that.
What you talking about, man? I got, we got Redskin fans and Giants fans pulling for the Eagles. I mean, Jesus.
I cheered.
Some poor girl actually bought an Eagles jersey hat.
What?
For the Super Bowl, pulling for the Eagles. She was a Giants fan. After the game, she took a Twitter picture or video of her throwing the Eagles jersey away after the game, saying she's back to a Giants fan now. I'm like,
she should put the jersey on.
Who did? No, she bought the Eagles jersey.
Yeah. Why? I cheered Patriots
for the Super Bowl.
So hard. I did not want to see y'all win. As an adult, my most painful Giant fan moments have been at the hands of the Eagles.
The Michael Vick game.
So many, bro. So many.
All right.
I can see Deshaun Jackson running down the end zone now.
Listen, I told a story on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That following season, the punt return for the touchdown. I can't make this up.
All right, so
I guess you should have left him alone, man. That's my only advice to you. Hey, do me a favor. Can you talk some junk to Carson Wentz for me?
I like Carson, man.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so hold on now. Before we get too far down this road, let's let everybody know where they can find the Gray Area. I don't think.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. Patriot, we done lost track. The Gray Area is on two mediums: Blog Talk Radio and iTunes.
Okay.
So if you want to find it, every time the episode drops, I'm on Twitter. I drop it via Twitter every 2 weeks. Chet_O'Hara is my Twitter handle. I'm not Irish. Don't ask about the story behind the name. I'm not telling, but that's my name on Twitter. Okay. Chet O'Hara. Find me every Gray Area.
I think I already know the story. I think this is the same reason Michael Vick used Ron Mexico, but. But anyway. All right, and you're also on Instagram, right? So what's the Instagram?
I am. Instagram name is the Elite Podcaster. You can find me there. I got some pushback for the name. I'm not competing with anybody. I just wanted something loud to put on Instagram as a title. So that's what I like. Elite Podcast. Right. Something different.
That's pretty good.
I just want to be sports guy, Ray.
It's better than Giants fan or long live Coughlin or.
Oh, I hate Coughlin more than I hate the.
I don't know what you want to call it. I mean.
Well, also, LeVar
Big
Ball
glory.
taught us, if LeVar Ball taught us one thing, it's speaking into existence, right? So go ahead and, make that claim and, live it out, LeVar Ball style. But anyway,
I mean,
all
that's
right.
similar to what we did for the Super Bowl, man.
Well, that's a good point. Speaking of Super Bowl, let's just take a moment to get a Giants fan perspective because I know New Yorkers hate Boston and hate the Patriots. And of course, as you said, you hate the Eagles because, I remember like back in the, I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. So, I remember like Lawrence Taylor, like I was literally scared of that dude, watching when they would play. And I wasn't even on the field. But
I mean, you're supposed to be scared of a crackhead. What you talking about?
I would be scared of the world class Coke boy too. Him, Darryl Strawberry, Doc probably had a lot of parties in the 80s.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, well.
There's a lot of Coke being used.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, it's New York City.
What was your feeling when the ball hit the ground in the end zone and you realized that the Eagles pulled it off?
Disgust. I was angry.
Did you flip the TV off? Did you call into work the next day? I mean, how far did it go?
When the ball dropped, I walked out of the living room, went in the kitchen, paced a little bit. I didn't even watch the celebration, actually. Once I came back to the living room, I turned the channel. Why? Because I hate the Eagles. I didn't want to see them cheer. I didn't want to see Kevin Hart get deflected by security trying to celebrate. I didn't want to do his best Jeff Hostetler impersonation. I walked out of the room. I gathered my disgust, and I came back and turned the channel because I didn't want to see it. I was already hoping that they put the Giants on week 1 or Thursday night so we could spoil your celebration next season. I'm a hater. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I thought about that because we're going to go to that game. It'll probably be like the Vikings, though, because I think we got to play the Vikings anyway. So, they'll probably try to have the NFC Championship rematch,
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you real quick. What do you want to see happen with Eli?
Best case scenario for Eli Manning is he comes back next season. He starts one more year as a New York Giants quarterback. And after that season, he goes about his business, whether it's Jacksonville or wherever he chooses to go. I believe if the Giants let him go after next season, they won't have as much dead money on the cap. So I believe that we let him play out this year, draft a quarterback, and then, the young guy can learn under Eli for a year before Eli goes about his business. We're not about to have no Tom Brady situations in New Meadowlands.
All right.
The Giants are picking, I think, your top 3 as far as your pick this year. They're probably definitely going quarterback. If you took a look at some of the prospects this year at quarterback, and who do you feel is a good fit for the Giants?
Selfishly, I really like Baker Mayfield. That is probably my favorite quarterback coming out of this group. Will he be drafted by the Giants? Unlikely. So if I had to choose a quarterback, realistically speaking, it would have to be Sam Darnold. Young, he's 20 years old. He has a nice combination of, mobility, and his arm isn't Sam Rosen level, but it's special.
Come on.
I stay away from the crackhead part too. I'm serious. When I see Baker Mayfield, I see Johnny Manziel again. Yeah, I see Johnny Manziel all over again. I don't think he's quite the party dude that Johnny is. I think he'll focus on football a little bit more. But they have the same stature. I mean, he's barely 6'1", maybe 6'2" max. He's gonna have problems looking over big offensive lines, big defensive lines, and plus he likes to go off script a lot. You can learn or or adapt, or you'll get killed in the NFL. Ask RG3, ask Johnny Football, ask these guys like this, these smaller quarterbacks. It's not just NFL scouts looking for that prototypical size. You really need some of that stuff.
Well, he needs somebody to run that Russell Wilson offense for him.
Right.
But still, Russell Wilson is mature. I mean, you don't have to worry about Russell Wilson. It's all football with Russell Wilson.
Well, I don't want to go Baker.
He's probably one of the most accurate passers in the NFL as well. Baker Mayfield is not as accurate as Russell Wilson is.
Oh, Baker Mayfield is extremely accurate. That's the reason why I want him, because if you look at the throws that he makes, he's hitting guys on time all the time. A lot of, in fairness, he's running that read option, so a lot of the throws are easy throws. But at the same time,
you're right. Those windows are smaller in the NFL.
But Drew Brees is the tallest guy we see when he's capable of doing.
Yeah, Drew Brees was special at Purdue also as well, though. And Drew Brees is, first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think Baker's really good. I'm not in the. You know what it is? I don't think he's as bad as Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was a special kind of mess up.
Yeah, character-wise, I'm talking about physical trait-wise.
Yeah, I think Baker can make it. I'm leaning pro Baker. Wherever Baker goes, I'm here for Baker Mayfield.
What if he comes to Philadelphia?
Why? You already have one.
I'm just throwing it out there, man.
He's just trying to make you say, "Nah, I'm out there." All right, so if y'all do get Baker Mayfield, all I want to know is, can he perfect the Eli face? Because my concern is if Eli leaves, we won't get any more Eli face, and that's one of my favorite things to see during the season is the Eli.
I don't see the Eli face after Eli Manning. Go take that face, hack it away, give it back to Tom Coughlin. Maybe you could dig up Kevin Gilbride's corpse, and he can have him too.
All right, so
I love that face.
Let's get on to the NBA, and I know on your show you talk a lot of NBA, and that's kind of basis, and you even get the culture vulturing and all that. We're not nearly that deep or intelligent, so we're just going to kind of stay on the surface. But anyway,
come on.
I know. I believe you're a Laker fan, right? So let's talk about the Lakers, man. What do you think about? He
got something right in life.
What do you think about the Lakers? Young squad, obviously. All the targeting toward free agency. I'm a little concerned because we keep hearing about LeBron and Paul George. But our best players are our forwards. So, we just have a team of forwards if we sign. I don't understand. What are you going to do with Kuzma, Ingram, Randall if you get LeBron and Paul, or even if you just get Paul George, which seems pretty realistic. I just don't understand the logic.
I think what the thinking is that we're seeing in the NBA. You probably heard the phrase positionless basketball. Versatility is key. The ability to play a lot of positions, handle the ball, shoot the ball, attack the basket, etc. Yeah. The way they've been grooming Brandon Ingram, they've been grooming him more as a guard. Anytime they have a chance to put the ball in BI's hands, they treat him like a point guard. He's the one creating and initiating the offense in the half court. So if you get a Paul George, we know what Paul George is capable of. And if you look at what Golden State does, a lot of times we've been groomed so long watching basketball to look at the game a certain way and through a certain lens. And if you look at what Golden State does, there is no primary ball handler. Everybody handles the ball. Everybody initiates the offense. Everybody knows where to be on the floor. You're bringing Luke Walton, not necessarily to emulate what Golden State does, but to at least bring the idea that anybody's a threat at any time. And if you add Paul George with Kuz and a Brandon Ingram, you're talking about length, you're talking about athleticism, you're talking about ability to score the basketball. I'm not fully against it. And then you have Lonzo as a quarterback. I think Lonzo's 6'6". They're trying to create mismatch at every position.
Got you. Okay. I can see that. All right. I feel a little better now. All right. All right. So, Paul, come to LA, man. We need you. Come home.
Come home.
That's right. And from what I've read about his personal life, he enjoys gentlemen's establishments. And I'm sure the ones in LA are better than Oklahoma City. I hadn't been to either one, but I'm just guessing.
Oklahoma City. No shade, but it is.
You're talking to a club connoisseur right there now.
No. Never been to Oklahoma City.
I'm telling you that right now.
About 800 people are going to watch this, so hey, stop talking. All right. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts about Randall? Would you go after Cousins? Or do you think a center is sort of a true center is sort of out of style now with today's NBA and the defensive rules and all that stuff? Not again. Come on.
It's a tricky situation. Right. I think it's a little tricky because when you look at Julius Randle, I've kind of hated Randle since he came to the Lakers. I didn't like his game. I still kind of don't like his game. But like I said yesterday, I was talking to a couple of friends, and I'm saying I'm on the block with Randle, and I'm coming around the corner now. I'm approaching the corner. I might turn back around and go home. I'm not sure yet. But, like, he does too much. He's dribbling the ball off of his foot on the break. He's causing charges. He's not making the right basketball plays, but then he's so athletic, and his first step is so lethal, and he can finish really well. It's like, all right, I might still want to mess with him. But if I'm the Lakers, I think the situation that they're in with Randle by keeping him is you're running the risk of a team, kind of like what happened with Otto Porter last year, getting $104 million or whatever the number was. Some team out here throwing the restricted player max deal, and the Lakers have to make the decision: do we lose Randle for free, or do we pay him that paper and lose free agent flexibility in 2019? Personally, I want a defensive-minded big for the Lakers. If you get Paul George, I want a guy who can rebound and catch alley-oops and defend the rim if I'm the Lakers. That's really the prototype for what we do offensively as it is. You don't have no business with a Brook Lopez. Either you can have a small ball five or an athletic five. A guy like Nerlens Noel is what I've been looking at for a year and a half for the Lakers as we speak about it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I'm not saying the big man with the post game is gone, but he definitely needs to be athletic and be able to move now. Especially with the smaller teams, the Houstons, the Golden States, these guys who run these little small speed lineups. What they call their death lineup or whatever.
You got to be able to switch, right?
Yeah, you got to be able to switch, and if you can't switch, and if that one guy's slow foot, I mean, he's a liability in the defensive end. So, like you, wasn't, and I'm still not a huge Julius Randle fan. I think he plays out of control too much, and I just don't like his skill sets that he possesses. I think he shoots too much at times.
Yes.
I don't like I hate it when he takes off down the court handling the ball because I know a turnover is about to happen.
Off his foot.
Yeah. So, but me personally, I was hoping we dealt him as part of that trade to get rid of some.
Agreed.
I know what the point of the trade was. It was to get rid of some money. And of course, Clarkson had the big contract, so that was one reason we got rid of him. But I really wanted Clarkson to stay or Nance to stay just because I like his athleticism and he knows his role. So I wouldn't have minded if we substituted Randle for one of those players instead of trading them both.
I believe that Larry Nance was key. I like him. His ceiling is a premier role player in the league. If you're a good team, you're gonna want Larry. I believe that Julius Randle and what he does is kind of he kills the point guard position. Because if you look at how him and Zoe plays, he just came around the corner to be a willing pick and roll participant. And at the same time, he's not a pick and pop guy, so the space is not there. So he has to roll, and he's not the most athletic guy when he gets to the rim. So you're not even promised like a dynamic finish. He has to get to certain spots to be effective when he does finish. So, I would have preferred to trade him, but then all the pundits would have said the Lakers gave him too much for a salary dump. You're going to give him talent like Randle, who's having a solid season, along with Clarkson, who's having a really solid season for IT and Channing Frye. You might have got too much pushback for that, which matters in LA.
Yeah, it matters, but if you're a real Lakers fan, you know where this is going. This isn't for this year. This is for the future. Next two free agent classes that are going to be coming out and trying to get some of these real max players who are going to be free agents in the next couple of years. This is what it's for. It's not – we know – I mean, Magic knows we're not going anywhere this year. He's trying to position himself for the next 2 years of free agency to go after those pictures.
Yeah.
So, because it's more likely that we lose Randle for free. Honestly, I think it's going to end up happening.
Right. Plus, with Randle, one thing I don't like about Randle, like for the team we're trying to build, Randle needs the ball to be effective, right? He needs like a lot of usage to be effective. And the team we're trying to build, that's not going to work, right? You got Lonzo, you got Ingram. They've got to get their touches. Kuzma, surpassed what anybody thought.
Agreed.
And whereas somebody like Nance would not need the ball to be effective, right? Just catch alley-oop, rebound, run the floor, and he's.
That's why I said he knows his role.
Yeah, and as the great American philosopher The Rock once said, "Know your role." It's very important. That's right. Yeah. And he keeps his mouth shut. Exactly. Unlike Randle.
Exactly.
You want guys on the Lakers right now who don't need high usage to be extremely effective. Randall is the one guy who doesn't fit that model right now for the Lakers.
Exactly. Yeah, he needs the ball a lot. Now, I'll give him credit. He did dunk on Joel Embiid. I still don't know how that happened, but I think it.
I dunked on Joel Embiid. What are you talking about?
All right. So, what else do you guys see around the NBA that's caught your attention? Of course, Houston has passed Golden State, I guess, by half a game or a game for first place in the West. You guys really think they're going to be able to beat the Warriors in the final? I mean, in the I guess Western Conference Finals, probably when they would play each other, right?
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, they should finish, 1 and 2 in the Western Conference, and if things stay on track during the playoffs and everybody does what they need to do, we're going to see Houston and Golden State. And to me, I don't think Golden State needs home court to beat Houston. I think Houston needs home court more than Golden State does at this point. With that being said, I think that's the only team in the West right now that can maybe even compete with them. I mean, if you ever see Houston when they're on in a night, maybe like that night they played Cleveland a couple of weeks ago, when that gets going, when you got 5-6 guys who shoot the three-pointer, but 35% plus, and it's going and it's on that night, they're going to be a tough out, man, and it's not going to be easy for Golden State. But with that, especially with the way they're playing right now, Golden State's not really on top of their game. But to me, Golden State is just bored right now. They won the championships. Yeah. They know they're a good team, and they know they can turn it on when they need to. If Golden State didn't turn the ball over, they're damn near impossible to beat. They just get lazy at times, lackadaisical, and I just think it's because they're really bored with the regular season. They're the only team in the NBA right now that can flip the switch and turn it on when they need to.
Right.
I'd love to see that series, so it'd be a very interesting series to see.
I think the issue that everyone needs to be concerned with when it comes to the Golden State Warriors is the fact that as bored as they've been, they still, 44-13. They're probably going to.
Good point.
But you can tell they're bored, though. I mean, come on, man.
And they got people missing games,
Yeah. I
right.
believe that a part of this is a little bit of strategery. You go to the finals 3 straight years. You go hard. You literally average 70 wins per season. Oh, if you calculate the wins, 67, 73, 67. They average 70 wins per season over the last 3 years.
Crazy.
If it's a team I can compare this Golden State team to, that, and as a Laker fan, they remind me of them so ridiculously. It's the 01 Lakers. After we won 67 games, beat the Pacers in the finals, and then the next year, Kobe tried to go hard for his, and the team kind of sleepwalked through the season. And then by about March-ish, they turned it on, ransacked the Western Conference, went 15-1 and won a championship.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting Apex Golden State, because if you look at what their issues are more than anything else, it's focus and it's intensity. And they're always going to score the basketball. So the intensity level is necessary for them to play defense. And we know when the Golden State plays D, they're one of the hardest teams to score against. They're picking and choosing right now. So we need to, until we see Golden State lock in and get beat, I'm not picking anybody over them. It's still Golden State 5 against everybody until proven otherwise.
Plus, Chris Paul, he may not be there in the playoffs because his body is starting to betray him a little bit. He's been in the league a long time. All right. So let's get to the Eastern Conference. Of course, the Cavs, new look Cavs, right? Re-energized LeBron. What do you guys think? Of course, you got, I guess, pretty much a 3-team race with Cleveland, Boston, and Toronto.
Yeah, I think that's it. But this Cleveland team, I'm not sure yet. They, until you face some adversity, you don't know what you got yet. I mean, they destroyed Boston, but to me, Boston was overrated all year anyway because they're so limited on the offensive end of the
without Hayward, right?
They don't have enough pure scorers. They don't have that second guy that can get you 25, 30 a night in a playoff game consistently. And past has shown us over the last few seasons, you got to have 2 of those guys that can put you in 25, 30 a night to be competitive and get to these finals. They don't have that guy. They play good defense, but offense can sometimes trump defense. So that's their calling card. They don't have enough offense to me to score. And I just don't trust Toronto because they haven't been there and done that. I mean, they seem to shrink in the playoffs instead of get bigger. I was listening to First Take today, and Shaq was saying, if you averaging 25 in the regular season, you got to make that 30 or 32 in the postseason. And that's just what you got to do. And then you got to bring the intensity because possessions slow down, games slow down, defense picks up. And Toronto's not really a strong defensive team. They're decent. But I just don't see their offense being able to elevate in the playoffs to beat LeBron because I think he's kind of got their number, really, to tell the truth.
Yeah. All right. So
pulling off the Celtics is the most keynote thing to look at. They're losing games in bunches now. That's worrying for me.
Which is a Laker fan I love, but yeah, I understand. All right. So finals predictions. All right. Now that we're at, I guess, pretty much All-Star break. So what are your finals? Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Finals predictions for 2018.
It's tough because, I picked Boston to come out the East at the top of the season. I picked them. I held sturdy up until the trade deadline. But looking at what Cleveland is doing, I'm starting to waver a little bit because I felt as though Boston needed to add a shooter or another wing player, and they would be live for the finals. They did nothing. That's troubling. But I don't believe the Cavaliers enough yet. And I don't believe Rodney Hood. I don't believe George Hill. I don't believe Jordan Clarkson enough. I don't believe Larry Nance enough when it gets to a slog game, half-court defense. I'm going to still pick the Celtics until proven otherwise. I'm sorry. I'm going to pick the Celtics. Celtics and the Warriors. That's my NBA Finals.
Okay.
Sure you're a Lakers fan?
Hey, well, it would be nice to see the Celtics just get run off the court. You know what I mean? Like,
hey. I really like Kyrie. What can I say? That's my guy.
All right. All right. So you got Kane.
I mean, I think we're in for rematch. I think we're in for round 3. I think Golden State Cleveland.
You mean
4? Yeah.
I mean, to me, the trades that Cleveland made, they did the most important thing. They got better on defense. They got younger, and they got more athletic. And if LeBron can just push those guys just to be active, I mean, just to play relentless and not give up, he'll make the good things happen around him. I mean, you can see that in the first couple of games. Like I said, they haven't faced any adversity yet, and they haven't played a great team yet that's had all their pieces and the motivation to go along with it. But if we get this kind of activity that they're playing with, the intensity, the defense, the athleticism they're playing with, and then we can get Golden State locked in because they'll be locked in the playoffs. We got an interesting series there, and I still think Golden State wins it because they just got better players. But I think we're going for Cleveland and Golden State again, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope not. 4 years in a row, that would just be like.
and that is why the NBA really sucks now because you got all these super teams, and everybody knew at the beginning of the season there was only 3 or 4 teams that actually had a chance to win the title. I mean, nobody should be surprised who ends up in the finals or the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference final.
NBA champion would be at the end of the day, though, right? That hasn't changed.
We knew what was going to happen at the beginning of the season. We're just waiting for the postseason. That's why the NBA regular season is so boring right now, and nobody really gets up for these big matchups. They're like, we'll see them in the playoffs, whatever.
You're not watching the Kings and Pelicans play on a Tuesday night?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to?
All right, I need everybody to hit that subscribe button, all right? Hit that like button, some thumbs up, give us some comments, tell us who you pick for the NBA Finals. And also, I need everybody to check out The Gray Area on iTunes and Blog Talk. And tell them again where they can find you on Twitter and Instagram.
On Twitter, Chet_O'Hara. Once again, CHET_O'Hara. Elite Podcast is my Instagram handle. Pretty simple stuff. Y'all can find me there. I'm tweeting, I'm trolling, I'm doing everything sports.
All right. So, we like to bring you some strange news or just, offbeat news. So you guys have anything for me this week?
I know you got a good one. I heard. Go ahead with that good one you had.
All right. Well, today, now we're doing this on the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. So Today is National Side Piece Day.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm gonna give you some advice right now. Tread lightly.
Well, I just need you guys' help because as a committed married man, I'm trying to. What is a side piece? I couldn't. Is that like a leg or is this like a piece of chicken? Help me out here. What's a side piece?
If you had a side piece, I take you back and I
so I think it's a thigh and a breast. I don't know.
Yeah, that's part of it. You're right.
Okay. I got
somewhere in that area.
All right. So happy National Side Piece Day to everybody in America and Canada, eh? All right. Well, it's in America. I don't know if it's Side Piece Day in Canada, so it's National Side Night. So, all right. What about you, Ray? You got anything for us, brother?
Apparently in New Jersey, the Tropicana Hotel over there.
Atlantic City.
Yes, Atlantic City. I've spent a lot of time at the Trop. Someone was trying to break that. There was a fire, and in the midst of clearing out the fire, a meth lab was discovered in the west of the Tropicana Hotel. So that's gonna gamble your life with some money. You can get high off some meth, and everybody wins.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a good way to be close to your customer base, right?
You got that right.
You feel it down. You lost a couple of racks. Here's some meth.
Here's what you do. You go hit your dealer. You go hit the other dealer.
Okay. Always wins, right?
Well, I'm sure their insurance company is like, we got to increase your rates if you're gonna have meth labs, because
I feel like a great show in that whole situation.
Oh man, that's crazy there.
Yeah.
All right. Keep this out. Watching the Olympics now that that the Olympics are going on. I looked up some things, and this isn't a Winter Olympic thing, but this is an Olympic rule that I found kind of useless and stupid. Water polo, and we know water polo. The white guys with the little cap on, throwing the ball in the net. Apparently, there's a rule in water polo. It seems like this will be pretty obvious, but you cannot grab, kick, or hit anybody in the crotch. That is a rule in the rule book, okay, that you can't do that. They've also got a rule that you cannot splash water in the opponent's face. Now we're playing water polo, okay? Mm-hmm. How do you not splash water in somebody's face? And when do you throw a penalty on it? When is it a penalty?
I guess when you lift your hand and deliberately do it. Maybe if you throw the ball in your hand.
I can say I'm trying to swim. I'm trying to get to the ball. Man, I ain't splashing no water in nobody's face.
But you know what? Other rule kind of makes sense because there's no cameras underwater to see what you're kicking and grabbing. So maybe.
So how did they? Is somebody swimming underneath watching all of this? What's going on?
Me too, right?
I'm guessing you could tell by the facial expression of the victim if they got hit.
Just jump suddenly, you know what happened. Hey,
yeah. Every man's like, I know what just went down.
Maybe they got an underwater ref. I don't know. Maybe they're watching it down there.
It's not a job I'll apply for.
No.
I'll think maybe if it was a female polo team, okay,
Oh boy.
Somebody's got to take one for the country, okay?
Right.
But nah, that ain't happening, dude.
Well, that's probably a better idea than celebrating National Side Piece Day. So
stay in the water and watch Speedos. Come on, man. Who want to do that, man?
All right. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you follow Ray on Twitter. We're gonna put his Twitter handle at the bottom of the screen there. Also, we're gonna tweet that out. So make sure you follow him, entertain and follow, and make sure you check out the Gray Area, okay? And maybe one day I'll make it on the show. I promise I'll step on my vocabulary. All right, Ray? So
knock it off.
we appreciate you coming on, brother. Anything you want to lead the people with? Anything you want to tell us about what you have coming up on the show?
Nah, I hate the Eagles. We'll leave it just like